folks, this is Vincent Adderley with Ads Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to play This War of Mine, the board game. This game supports 1 to 6 players. It's for ages 18 and up, and the average play time is 45 to 120 minutes. I suspect a lot longer than that. So we're only going to do maybe a couple of rounds today. Each round is typically like a day. So what are we doing in this game? Well, this is based off of the video game in that you control a group of survivors in this post-apocalyptic rundown world, and you are nobodies. I mean, you have regular jobs. It's not like you're superheroes. In the video game, it's a very gruesome setting, just ordinary people trying to stay alive by having enough food, trying to stay warm from the cold, making sure they've got enough water and other supplies. In the video game, typically what happens is, during the day, you explore your base of operations here. It's just a building, and you'll be able to loot various things. And then in the video game, when the day phase runs out in real time, then you can go out at night and explore various locations. Well, the board game does something very similar to that, and I'll just quickly show you in the journal here what that all entails. So this is setup. As part of setup, you're going to get 3 characters, and I've already drawn them here. You're going to get 1 character with a red border on it, like a red background. These are more powerful, based on what I've seen, than the characters with the black borders. I've got Boris, Amelia, and Katya. So if you take a look at these character cards, you'll see a number of different stats. Prowess is related to re-rolling dice. Empathy is whenever you have to perform various empathy checks, you're going to compare that value to whatever. And then as things come up in the game, you'll often be asked to check spirit, A, B, or C. And you have to resolve these as they come up. So on occasion, it says here, habit, discard 1 cigarette from the storage or raise Boris's misery by 1. So he's a chain smoker, I guess. And if he doesn't have his cigarettes, he gains misery. So we have to be on the lookout for cigarettes to give to him when asked. Amelia here is a lawyer. She has 1 prowess, 3 empathy. She does have a special ability. At the beginning of the dawn phase, Amelia may raise her fatigue by any amount to lower her misery by the same amount. She also has some spirit things here. Her habit is coffee. If she doesn't get her coffee, her misery will go up by 1. The inventory number on the bottom right is how many things that they can carry back. Certain items in the game have a weight to them, and that's how much weight she can carry. Boris's was 6. So he's going to be scavenging often. Katya is a reporter. No re-rolling dice, empathy of 7. Her ability is bargain. When trading with Katya present, trade commission is lowered to 0. Typically, you have to pay extra just to trade with someone. Well, with her, you don't have to do that. So it's an even trade for the most part. Her habit is coffee as well, so we're going to need a lot of coffee. Also, if there's a guitar in storage and this spirit event comes up, we'll be able to lower 1 chosen character's misery by 1. Also, if she's wounded, she'll raise her misery by 1 if this kicks in. Her inventory capacity is 3 when hauling back supplies. So we have 3 characters, 1 red bordered, 2 black bordered ones. And I have they have different colored tokens, and they are represented by these minis here. So blue is blue, green is green, orange is orange. And each mini in this game looks like the card. If you take a look at the card, you'll see that Katya has this little, I guess, like fanny pack. I don't know what that is on the front there. But this character has the same look. So you just find the mini that goes with that character and put them out here under the guard space to start with. There are a lot of rules with this game, just FYI. So I may miss a couple of things in this overview. So 3 characters, you're supposed to start them at 2 hunger. I'm going to reduce that to 1 because this game is brutal, and I feel like I needed to make a couple of adjustments to the rules to make it a bit more casual to my liking. I've read horror stories where people can actually die day 1 if RNG does not work. They can actually starve to death on the very first day.
Wow.
If you lose all your starting food, and if you have no water, you have to roll a die to see if you go hungry. And if you get double whammied with no water, hunger, and then no food, you could just potentially die on the first day. So I'm like, it may be rare, but still it's possible, and it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But you're going to set up various locations. Every one of these cards has a location assigned to it, like closed door, closed door, closed door. You shuffle up all the closed doors and randomly assign them to their spot. Same with the rubble, same with furniture, same with heaps. There's a bars one down here, and we're going to be revealing these cards and earning resources throughout the day.
Cool.
Some other cards to look at, there are night raids. At the end of the night, we'll be possibly getting into a night raid. Now, it's worth mentioning that there are night raid cards with red exclamation points on them. Those are taken out to start, and then they are slowly added in. These are like extra difficulty added stuffs. So we'll be adding those in over the course of several days. But night raids, in the video game, on occasion you would get a calm night and nothing would happen. In this game, you encounter one every night. I again have adjusted the rules to where we are going to roll a die to see if it's a calm night or if we actually encounter something, just to make it a bit more realistic to the video game. Findings, as we explore, as we go to these locations over here, there's a locations deck over here, and we draw 3 of them at random. These locations will tell you, what the location is. Small apartment building, and then these are special features of that location. So basement entrance. Sometimes, as we're exploring via the exploration deck, we may come across a card that says, "If there is a basement entrance, then continue reading." So if there is a basement entrance and we're at this location, we would continue reading that exploration card. Otherwise, we would draw a new one, which you'll see later. There's also like a special findings section here. Sometimes you may find special stuff, and you have to roll a die to see what that special item was that you found. So there are just various locations. Ignore the bottom numbers for now. These are events, and there's a huge book of scripts that comes with the game. It's very
Oh my gosh.
yes. So it'll tell you. Okay, you can look at it, but don't spoil anything.
I will.
But okay, so on occasion the game will say, draw the next location card or draw the next whatever from the deck, and then read that number, and then make a decision and see what happens with your choice. So there is like a choose your own adventure kind of element to this. We'll be getting various scenarios as they pop up. But long story short, 3 locations. This is the closest location to us. Is we would draw 14 cards from the exploration deck when we go there. The number of cards that you get for your exploration is your timer. When you run out, the night ends and you have to go back to your base to bring back what you have. So 14 cards, 12 cards, 10 cards. Again, this is the furthest card location, so there's less cards to be able to draw. Give me that before you hyperventilate. She's over here breathing it in.
I wish that was my oxygen mask.
Wow. Residents, as we explore locations, we may come across hostile people or nice people. There is a standard deck of residents, and then there are residents with the exclamation points on them. They come out to start, but they get added in as well, just like cards from the night raids. So we will be adding more dangers to these 2 decks as we continue. We encounter a resident via this noise tracker here. As we explore during the night phase, we're going to be possibly raising sound, our sound level. And oftentimes we'll be asked to roll a 10-sided die. And if we roll higher than that 10-sided die, we're fine. But if we don't, we reset this back to 1, and then we draw a card from the residence deck, and we've encountered somebody because we were too noisy. So that's what those things are over there. This is our inventory as it stands. We start with 2 water, which are these clear tokens here. We start with 3 of this raw food. Different food types in the game will address our hunger states. Vegetables will not change it, but you don't go hungry. Getting raw food decreases your hunger by 1. And then getting, I think, canned food decreases your hunger by 2. Canned food is the best.
Can you cook the raw food?
There are fittings, which I'll get to later. The game calls them fittings, but they're really structures that you can build inside like you would the video game to help you. Like stoves. No, like stoves, the rainwater collector. Let's get into that now, I guess, while we're over here. There's 2 decks of fittings. These are the basic fittings. You can look through this at any time and pick the one that you want to build for your day actions.
Okay.
So there's a metal workshop, a crude stove, there's a simple heater, a rainwater collector, deadfall trap to help you cook food, beds to help you lower fatigue, workshop, radio, moonshine still, herbal garden. These are all the basic structures, and then whenever you build them, they will go into these room slots. And yes, they can be put on the stairs as well. But as we clear these cards out, we'll have more room to place more of these cards. So we're going to be spending our resources to build these items, or they're called fittings. And on top of that, there is a new ideas space where you can spend an action with a character to choose 2 ideas from this deck to add them to the buildable fittings deck. These are extensions typically of an existing one. This is the improved herbal garden, or the improved herbal workshop, or the improved gun workshop, improved efficient heater, improved cooking stove. So typically, whenever you build an improvement, it has to go next to the existing one that's already built. You can't build an improved of something until you have the basic one down.
So you're kind of messed up if you build like 2
you don't want to trap. Yeah, you don't want to trap. You want to be careful not to trap an expandable fitting between 2 other things. Supposedly there are ways to tell if something has the ability to be expanded. I'm not sure where that would be on the card, but supposedly, like this metal workshop, I know that there's an expanded version of it. I'll just have to find it when I find it. Or we'll just have to be careful when we're looking. But that's the regular fittings and the advanced fittings over there to the right.
Cool.
Characters, we may be able to get more than our starting 3 characters. There is a space here for an action. We can go outside. However, you have to roll a 10-sided die. If you roll a 1, then a sniper hits you and you take 2 wounds.
Ugh.
So there's a 1 in 10 chance you'll just get shot. Then draw and resolve a visitor's card. And sometimes visitors will be traders. Sometimes they will be characters that you can take in and add to your action economy, add to your base. So there's that. There's the event deck. And you're going to be building it in such a way where you've got Chapter 1, and then a number of random events, and then Chapter 2, and then a number of random events, and then Chapter 3, and then you get to the ending events stuff. And one of these, I believe, is the game ender, I think. We have objectives on top of that. So every time we get to the next chapter, we're going to resolve whatever one's on top. So this is the Chapter 2 objective that we're trying to complete this before Chapter 2 hits. Chapter 2 objective is, at the end of the chapter, each character's misery must be lower than 2. As a reward, you get something. As a penalty, you get something. So if you do it or don't do it, something's going to happen, either good or bad. And you can look at these, no problem. Chapter 3's objective is you have to discard bandages and or medicine and move the objective marker from 0 to 3, as if you were helping the sick and wounded. And if you manage to do that, you get some kind of reward. If you don't, you get a penalty. And then the overall scenario objective is at least 1 character from the starting group must survive until the end of the game. With each state, the hunger, the misery, the wounds, and the illness equal to or less than 2. The fatigue is ignored. So as long as we just basically survive, we should be okay. One of these 3 characters just needs to survive. On occasion, we'll have to draw from the Fate deck. Whenever you do combat in this game and you roll a particular dice face, I think it's this little S symbol. It's kind of hard to focus on, but it looks like a little circle with squiggly. It's like, yeah, looks like a hook, I guess. But whenever you roll that die when you're attacking, you can, instead of missing with your shot or whatever, you can chance the Fate deck and see if anything happens. Every Fate card has a die color on the bottom. So if you draw the dice color of that matches the one that you rolled. So if I drew from the Fate deck right now and it was a yellow die, nothing would happen because this is a red die. But if a red die was drawn from the Fate deck, then I would get to do what the Fate card says. Sometimes it helps you, sometimes it's just random. Narrative actions are positive things that we get at the end of a round that we can keep and use to help us in future rounds. We draw 2 and keep 1 typically. Okay. Colors, as I mentioned, the game will tell us to do sometimes it'll say, perform an exploration action at this, or perform an exploration event, or whatever it is. There's so much here, but it may tell you, do one of these numbers. And there's 5 colors. There's green, there's red, there's blue. It's kind of hard to see. 841 is blue. But when it tells you to do that, there are 5 colors here. You draw a random one, and that's the number that you read.
That's the corresponding.
Yeah, based on, yeah. So every card that you draw will have 5 numbers with 5 different colors, and then that will tell you which number to look at based on the color. Okay. I know there's more. I know there's more. I just, there's just so much here.
This makes me want to play the video game.
But, yeah, modded, of course.
Yeah.
So the day, in the morning phase, typically you're going to draw and resolve the top card of the event deck. So we'll just go ahead and do this all now. Mm-hmm. Now, the errata for this game says that whenever you draw the Chapter 1 card, you're supposed to draw another one immediately following that. But again, in an easy mode setting, I'm going to go back to the original rules, which is you just draw the Chapter 1 card. That way we've got a full day to kind of do things around the house until bad things in the event deck starts to happen. Because the event deck will start to introduce bad things and add cold to your shelter. And you need certain levels of warmth in order to keep your people from getting sick. Okay? So I'm just going to draw the Chapter 1 card, and it pretty much does everything I did already off camera. It just says, when the Civil War broke out, many people thought it would be the but it only last a couple of weeks. It's been a year since the military surrounded the rebels in the capital, cutting off all supply lines. The civilians still trapped in the city suffer from hunger, disease, and constant threat of shelling. And another day of desperate waiting at the end of this terrible war. Okay, so determine the objectives for each 3 chapters of the campaign. I've already done that off camera. You shuffle the objectives, and then you deal out what you need to deal out. Again, there are two regular objectives that you would just shuffle in, and then this one is always going to be the final objective. As far as I know, there's only one final objective. However, my game came with other expansions that I didn't show you. They're in a baggie. I'm afraid to even touch them right now. But there are other scenarios too. Actually, Endless Night is a scenario, and The Last Day is a scenario. On top of the base game that we're doing, these are 2 extra scenarios, I believe. For those of you that want to see the box insert before we get started, there's a bunch of like status tokens, enemy tokens, and other things. Yellow is typically medicine. This gray stuff are like books and shovels and other tools. This blue stuff is related to fatigue. Red is like weapons and wounds. Green is like hunger. And this black over here is misery. So we're going to be tracking status effects throughout the game via those tokens. But anyway, per the Chapter 1 card, we are just going to draw objectives and seed them as appropriate. At the end of each chapter, resolve any reward penalty from the corresponding objective card. So I'm just going to remove this from the game, as it says to on the very bottom. And I'll just put that up here for right now and do this. So now, what we're supposed to do is draw our next event for the first round, but that didn't come into play until the errata came out, the FAQ. So I'm just, again, easy mode. And if you want to know what easy mode things we're doing, I've created a list. Characters start with 1 hunger instead of 2. Half cold tokens. So as these events come up, we only get half of the cold tokens rather than the full listed amount rounded up. No events day 1, I've already explained that one. Enemies don't re-roll dice and can actually miss. When you're in combat in this game, the enemy will continue to roll dice until they hit you, which I think is BS. So if I can miss, they can miss. All right? So they can miss. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say that. I'm considering this one, but I haven't decided on it yet. +2 or -2 for certain dice rolls, but we'll see how RNG treats us. Healing in bed. Typically, you have to spend bandages or medicine in order to heal status effects, but why not have the ability to just rest in bed and possibly heal? So on a 1 to 6, if you roll a 10-sided die, 1 to 6, no healing. On a 7 to 10, improve the condition by 1. That way, natural bodily healing could possibly help, but not all the time. At the end of every round, we're going to be adding 2 cards from the Night Raids or Residence decks into here to make them more powerful. You're supposed to add 2. I'm doing 1. Okay. So there's less danger being added in, gradually, if that makes any sense. Also, Quiet Night. I mentioned already that you get raided every night. However, we're going to roll a 10-sided die. On a 1 to 4, nothing happens. And on a 5 to 10, then we draw the Night Raid card as is typical. The other thing I came up with was, instead of doing chapters and objectives, just create an event deck and try and get through it all. And then just see if you survive so many days. Instead of doing all these extra objectives where you could possibly get wrecked because you couldn't get the objective in time, just create so many event cards and have at it. But we're not doing that, at least for right now. Okay, so getting back to this, we're going to draw and resolve the top card from the event deck. We already did that. If you're playing with more than one player, you would then pass the journal to that other player. And whenever there's a decision to be made that can't be agreed upon, that player with the journal has priority. But typically, this is a co-op. I am not controlling this character or anything. We're all controlling all of these characters, and we're making decisions together. Yeah. So typically, I would say this is more of a solo game than co-op, but if you've got a spouse or a friend, the more people you have, the slower your experience is going to be, because you're going to be arguing more about what should be done. Yeah. But anyway, so you may place characters in the shelter and fitting shelter cards to which you have access to in the beginning of the game. Characters may freely move horizontally. So what it's saying is we have the ability to move these characters to different spots on the board to do various actions. The number of actions we can take is based off of their conditions. So at the beginning of the game, they're supposed to start at 2 hunger. And this tells us that during the first action phase, the white dot is there, so they can do the first action. For the second action for that phase, there's a white dot, meaning they can do it. If you see a black token on any of your status effects, any of them, then you can't do the action for that phase. So it's possible I might be fine hunger-wise. However, if I have a wound on this character, even though my hunger has a white dot on it for the third action for that round, my wound is preventing me from doing that third action. So you're going to look at whatever condition is the worst, and then that's how many actions you have for that particular round, at least for the day phase. So we're going to look to see how many actions, and because I've modded this, we get 3 actions per character. Every character is going to have 3 actions that they can do, and we'll resolve them 1 action at a time. So, again, these are all the different actions that we could possibly do, whether it be picking a card and doing something there, building something, creating a new idea, and adding the more advanced cards, the fitting cards, into the regular fitting deck, going outside to try and trade or meet people, that kind of thing. If you want to try and pick a lock, you have to have a lock pick. Lock picks are consumed. You do start the game with 1. If you are successful with your lockpicking, you have to remove the lockpick. If you are not successful, you just simply waste your turn, but you do not remove the lockpick. Oh. Shovels and saw blades are infinite use. In the video game, they have durability. In this game, you just keep them until you lose them from some other thing. Mm-hmm. Okay. But yeah, that is... So now we've got some actions to spend. So I'm thinking we just explore and try and get as many of this stuff done as possible. So for example, I might put this person here. I might put this one. I can go up the ladder. I can go down the ladder. Well, I need a saw blade for these bars, so I can't do that. Let's see. Maybe try and pick the lock here.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, or come over here and try and clean up. Well, here's the thing. Rubble. So the way rubble works is... Actually, that's fine. The way rubble works is you either need one character with a shovel or two characters. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have a shovel, you can still clear rubble, but you need two characters to do it. Mm-hmm. We start with a shovel, so this shouldn't be a problem. Mm-hmm. So now that we've assigned everyone, now we resolve them one at a time for the first action. So let's start with this closed door over here. We're going to attempt to pick the lock. And you can do the honors. You're going to roll a 10-sided die. And it's a 5. So you've picked the lock. And I think, again, it's 4 and above, you automatically succeed. So our lock pick goes back to the supply. And we reveal the closed door.
And we only started it with one lockpick?
Yeah, so we're out of lockpicks. Okay. So we've opened this, and it says you gain 3 wood. Add these to the storage and remove this card from the game. So we're going to come over to our supply that you can't see and add 3 wood. It's worth mentioning that items in this game are limited. So if you run out of wood in the storage, you can't gather anymore. There is a ×5 storage space to help with that.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we've unlocked that. I'm just going to move this over here. All right, now I'm going to resolve this character here. Heap. Let's see what's over here. We gained 1 lockpick, 2 components, and 5 wood. Mm-hmm. So we gain a lockpick. We gain 2 components, which are these gears. Mm-hmm. And 5 wood. Oh. So I'm going to put a wood on the ×5 over here.
Oh, okay.
To show that we just got 5 wood from that. Okay? And that's it. We remove this card from the game. And lastly, this guy, or her, I'm not sure, Katia, with this shovel, we get to keep it. So what we do with this rubble card is we flip it over, but we still need to do the action again in order to get rid of it. So you typically need 2 actions in order to get rid of a rubble card. It doesn't give you any resources, but it does clear the way for other cards so that you can look into them. Okay? So that was our first action. Now we're on our second action for this round. And the question is, what do we do? Are we going to keep Katia here with the shovel to clear this out? And if so... that means coming over here to clear out this rubble was kind of silly because we don't have a shovel, and I really don't want to spend 2 characters on 1 rubble space. I'm thinking maybe we start building things right away.
I was just going to say...
Because we've got the excess resources. So I guess the question is, what kind of fitting do we want to build? There's a metal workshop. That gives us the ability to construct lockpicks, shovels, saw blades, knives, and hatchets. If we care to do that. The crude stove allows us to spend herbs and water to make a meal, which gives us 1 vegetable. Cook a dinner. 1 raw food and 1 water gives us, plus 1 wooden or book gives us 2 raw food. I don't think we're there yet because we don't have a whole lot of herbs right now to really worry about a stove. The simple heater, we can spend wood or books in order to discard cold tokens as they come up. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's necessary right now because we don't have any heat problems right now, but we may want to do that soon. Mm-hmm. The rainwater collector allows us to place a weight token at this location. And weight tokens are resolved at the end of the phase. And we roll a die to see how much water we get from storage. Mm. We don't need a filter like in the video game. We just wait and see what kind of result we get. I'm very tempted with the rainwater collector. That's on the running, I think, for a possible construction. The deadfall trap has another weight thing. You have to spend, however, 1 chem or 1 raw food at that location. On a result of 1 to 2, nothing happens, and you lose the food that you put there.
Ooh.
As if the rat had run off with the bait.
Yeah.
You know? On a 3 to 7, you get 1 raw food back. And on an 8 to 10, you get 2 raw food. So, like, there's a chance with this deadfall trap you might actually lose what you put in. Unless you've got a lot of chems, in which case you may... There is an improved deadfall trap card in there that modifies your roll by, like, +3 or something like that. Build a bed. I think that's also super important to help with fatigue. So, that's another thing I'm going to just put down as a possibility. Workshop, I think... Workshops allows us to make parts. We can also make filters. Not sure what filters would be used for. I wonder if the filters are used for the rainwater collector. No, it's not. It just says place a weight token here. So filters must be used for something else. I just don't know what.
I saw filter.
I wonder if filters are used for building advanced things. Maybe the improved rainwater card may need a filter as part of the construction cost, if I had to guess. But with the workshop, you can make parts, filters, a guitar. You can repair a guitar if there is one. The radio allows us to look at the top 2 cards from the event deck, which is up here, or the top card of the Night Raids deck, so you can prepare as to what's coming. You can relax. Roll the black die. Result 8 to 10, lower misery by 1. So there's a very low chance you could lower your misery with the radio. Moonshine still is more for like people that want to drink moonshine, or you can use it as a trading thing. Herbal Garden will allow us to roll cigarettes, cultivate herbs, and prepare herbal medicine. So I think we focus on...
We need a filter to build that.
Oh, the rainwater collector?
Yeah, it's in the bottom.
Oh, yeah. Well, no. Where do you see that? Oh, yeah, 1 filter. I see that. So we can't even do the rainwater collector yet. I'm going to put that back. In that case, it's either going to be a bed or a metal workshop. I'm thinking the bed just to help us. It'll add actions during the day to where we can remove fatigue.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm going to put the metal workshop here for now. And I'm just going to put the bed. I'm going to try
Does it have to be adjacent to you? Or
just pick any empty space.
Any empty space.
So I'm going to put this character here to start building a bed, and that leaves this person to get the heap. So this is going to be action number 2. Okay. So we'll start with this one, because I don't want to like gain more resources than what's in the supply, so I'd rather spend them before we earn. 3 components and 4 wood to build this bed. So, yep.
4 wood and 3 components.
There you go.
There you go, sir.
Awesome. So just put them back over into the supply. And this card is now flipped over. So now it gives us an extra action. When we take a nap here as part of an action, we lower the fatigue of the character placed here by 2. Sleeping in the bed for the whole night removes all fatigue from a character. So at the end of the night, instead of sleeping on the ground, you can assign 1 character to a bed, just like in the video game, to remove more fatigue. So we've built the bed. We've got a heap over here that will quickly resolve. And I can't read that. What does that say?
An electrical part.
Ooh, electrical parts.
Water and something else.
So electrical part, we get a water, which is great. We need 1 water per person for the next phase. And then 3 components. So 3 of these gears. 1, 2, 3. All right. So now we remove that card from the game. And then lastly, we're going to spend our, just use our shovel and this character to completely remove this card now. So now we've got this extra, we just simply remove this card from the game. No extra benefit, it's just removed. That was action number 2. Now typically in the normal game, that would be it, we'd move on. But because this is homebrewed and we have a hunger of 1, we have 3 actions instead of 2. Oh. So now we've got some extra time to do other things. So you want to do furniture over here. What else do you think? These bars, you need a saw blade, which we don't have. Do we have enough for a metal workshop? We need 5 components and 3 wood for a metal workshop. What do you think?
Yeah.
Do you want to go with that?
Might as well.
Okay. So where do you want to put that? Maybe here. There may be. You want to see if there's an improved metal workshop in there, just to see what you get.
I'm pretty sure.
In the video game, improved metal workshop allows you to repair weapons and stuff. Oh yeah. So here it is. So yeah, the improved metal That's gun. Oh yeah, improved metal workshop to gunsmith workshop. So yeah, we can repair firearms and make ammo if we upgrade this.
Okay.
So, but at least for now, we can construct a saw blade and start working down here.
Sure.
But
I wouldn't mind crafting the stove at some point.
The stove, okay, that's cool. So those can go back into the ideas thing, and this is the basic card. And then this one, where do you want to go? Do you want to start removing rubble from up here with our shovel?
Maybe.
Or maybe over here?
Maybe to the left, yeah.
Okay.
Because there's heap next to it, and we don't have another lockpick for the closed
We do.
doors. Oh,
We gained a lockpick whenever we, so we could, but this closed door leads to rubble and furniture. This rubble closed door leads to furniture only.
So what's more important, heap or furniture?
Well, they're both furniture. It doesn't matter. I honestly, I have not played the game before at all.
Alright.
To know what's in what, to be honest with you.
Rubble's closer.
Alright, so that's fine. We'll just go ahead and do that. So we've assigned our actions. We're going to spend one action to flip this rubble card, but that's it. This metal workshop, we need 5 components and 3 wood. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 wood. Okay. And we still have 5 wood in that 5x storage over there, but we've now built the metal workshop. And lastly, go ahead and flip that furniture and see what we get.
You gain, wow, a lot of stuff.
Ooh, okay. 1 med. So we'll just start with, well, I've got so many tokens over here. Let's get this out. Okay, so we've got 1 medicine. I think that's, 1 med token.
Okay.
We get 1 herb, which, that's a chem.
What the heck is a chem?
A chemical.
Oh. I'm thinking KEM.
Yeah. Alright, I don't know where the herbs are. I wonder if they're in... Do I have them over here somewhere?
Are there 3 of them down there to the left?
Sugar, coffee... You'd think they would be in this yellow area here. Why don't you... Oh, herb, there we go. There's a token for herb.
Okay.
1 mechanical part. And I have some off to the side here as well. A mechanical part. So there's that. We also get 2 water and 1 wood.
Okay.
So 2 water. There's only 6 water tokens in the game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you can't go over, and then 1 wood.
Okay.
So we'll add that here. And then this card gets removed from the game.
So there's nothing else on it?
No, that's it.
Wow. Okay.
Alright, so we did this one, okay, so we did all 3. So now that we've done all 3 actions, and again, we could do that 3rd action because we had 3 white dots here, and no one has any black dots. Now we move on to Dusk. Each character must drink 1 water and discard it from the storage. So 1, 2, 3. So we've drank our water. If you had not drunk water, you would roll a 10-sided die. On a 1 to 5, you raise their hunger by 1. On a 6 to 10, you raise their misery by 1. So if you don't drink water, you either raise your misery or your hunger, depending on a die roll. Next is hunger. Each character should eat 1 or more food and discard it from the storage. So we've got 3 food, and raw food reduces hunger by 1. So what I'm going to do is food, food, food for each of the 3 characters. And I'm going to remove from 1 to 0 their hunger. So they are completely stuffed at this point. The next time they would gain hunger, this token would come back.
Yep.
Okay.
We need that stove.
We need stove soon, yeah. All right, so the evening phase. This is where we can decide who's going to do what for the evening. People can sleep in the bed. They can sleep on the floor. They can go on guard duty. There has to be at least 1 guard on the guard space. Otherwise, you read 333 in the Book of Scripts. I'm sure that's bad, so we're not going to do that.
Awesome.
We need to leave 1 person on guard duty. So I'm thinking...
Since it's very early in the game, do you want to just see what 333 is and use that extra person to get resources or do whatever?
No, I'm not going to risk
All
that.
right.
That would be awful. So there's guard duty here. I definitely want Boris to go out and like scavenge. So findings pile. I kind of want 2 explorers. Inventory 3. So maybe Emilia will go out with, because Katia has a prowess of 0, and she is so on rerolls, she'll get at least 1 reroll. So Katia's going to stay behind and guard. Okay.
What is this? Poke about?
Oh, that's another action that we could possibly do.
Oh, for wooden components.
Yeah, so you can roll a die to see if you get wooden components.
I see.
And on a 1 to 4, you get 1 wood or component. On a 5 to 6, 2 wood components. 7 to 8. So the higher you roll, the more resources you typically get.
But that's not for dusk. That's for morning.
That's for the day phase when we were exploring stuff. Okay. So guard duty. So we have 1 character on guard duty. Whenever you do scavenging, these 2 are scavenging. So no one is sleeping, so we have to raise their fatigues by 1. So tomorrow, they're going to have 2 actions each. Unless they rest up in a bed or something. Okay? So now we move on to scavenging. So we're going to choose one of the 3 available locations here. And I'm going to just choose the closest one. That gives us the most exploration cards so that we can possibly get more things. We're going to set our noise marker to 1. We can also choose to bring equipment with us. Equipment can have various symbols on them. This black symbol is a weight symbol. That's 1 weight. Again, these characters have like inventory 6, inventory 3. This would count, if we brought the shovel, that would count as 1 of our 9 inventory. I'm not going to bring anything because I want to bring back as much as possible. Yeah. What's cool is that at the end of your run, you choose what you want to bring back from the findings pile. But you can also add water and wood, I think components? I have to look again. But I think you can add, where's that at? You may add as many, wood components or water to the findings pile for free. So let's say you only find 7 weight worth of stuff, so that's 2 extra room you have. You can just grab water, wood, or components from the supply to add to your inventory to bring back. Each one is 1 weight.
Interesting.
So what you could typically do is go to a location, not find anything, and then just bring back a whole bunch of water, wood, and components. So you could do that if you wanted to.
That's funny.
So we're going to set the noise marker to 1. And now we prepare the unknown deck. And to prepare the unknown deck, this is the unknown space down here. So I have to draw 14 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there's 14 unknown cards. And this is our timer for this night phase. We're going to be drawing these one at a time and resolving them.
So the closer you are, the more...
Yeah, so there's 3 locations. Okay. This is a close location. So we draw 14 cards.
I see. Okay.
If we go distant, it's 12 cards. And far away locations are 10.
I see.
And that's just like, it takes more time to get there and back, so there's less time to explore. Hence why there's more cards in the near location. Okay. So now we're going to start resolving these cards one at a time with these 2 people. So we're going to draw the first card. And this says open space. So it's a map card. On the very top it says open space. So what that means is we're going to look at this location. There's rubble, jammed door, and basement entrance. None of which are open space. So we are not going to resolve this card. Rather, it says if there is no open space, discard this card and draw a new card from the exploration deck, not the unknown deck. So we're just going to discard this because we can't do this. There's no open space at this location. We're going to draw a new one from here. I think I saw something. Return as many exploration cards as you wish and roll the black die. Add the number of the returned exploration cards to the result. On a result of 1 to 5, draw and resolve a residence card. So what that's saying is, we're going to roll a die, and on a 1 to 5, we will draw from here. However, we can discard as many cards as we want from here to go quietly. So if I discard 3 of them, and just discard them, that gives us a +3 to this roll.
Oh.
So how much risk do we want to take? How you know what I mean? So maybe I discard 2 of them. That gives us a +2 on this roll. And then that way we would only need what was the card? 1 to 5. We'd have to roll a 6 or higher, and discarding 2 would be a 4 or higher. So maybe I'll discard 3 just to be on the safe side. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Resonance are bad cards?
They could be good, they could be bad. We don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Well, all right. Let's do 2 cards. So I'm just gonna discard these.
So that would be 1 to 5. So that's
5
minus 2 or 5 plus 2?
It's 5 minus 2.
So 3.
Well, again, on a 1 to 5, we draw a residence card. So really it's 6 plus we're aiming for, but now it's 4 plus because... So yeah, go ahead and roll the die and see what you get. It's a 10, so we didn't even have to discard anything, which is fine.
Wow.
I'm just going to put them off to the side to show that these are just sort of discarded. But now we move on to the next card. Okay, tough luck. Roll for the noise. Okay, so our noise level is 1. As long as we don't get a 1, we're fine. 6, we're fine. All right, next card. Closed door. Is there a closed door? No. So we have to draw a new card from this deck to replace it. Stairs down. Look for another way. Return 3 exploration cards or raise the noise by 3 and roll for noise. Yeah, no, we're not finding a darn thing. So the question is, do we go up to 4 noise and then roll for noise, or do we just discard 3?
Discard 3. I feel like
1, 2, 3. That gives us. We still have like 6 cards here.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna discard and we'll keep going.
Okay.
Search the heap. Oh, there we go. You may ignore this card or search the heap. We can return 2 exploration cards and raise the noise by 1, or raise the noise by 1 and then roll for noise. I'm going to raise the noise by 1 and roll rather than discard 2 more cards. So again, our 2 choices: return 2 exploration cards and raise noise by 1, or just raise the noise by 1 and then roll for noise.
Okay.
I'm saying we just do the second one because we only have 2 noise.
How do we get stuff from it?
You'll see.
Oh,
we didn't get there yet. Let's just resolve this
okay,
and then we'll resolve the rest of the card. 10. We're good. You're lucky. All right. 2. Draw and resolve 1 card from the findings deck. And then there's a heap chart. So the findings deck is right here. So now we're going to look at the heap section. Well, if there was one, there isn't one. Reality impact. Something unexpected has happened. Draw a card from the colors deck to determine the color of the script. What else is in there? Okay. Yep. So just pick a random card from the colors deck. Doesn't matter which. It is gray. Okay, so go ahead and shuffle the gray card back into the colors deck. So we're looking for a gray one. Check the number with the color on the rare findings chart on the current location. So, rare findings, we're at the ruined block flats, number 385. So,
and then we pull out the...
Yeah, then we read 385 in the book.
Cool.
So, and then it says I have to place this card under the current location. When that location card is removed from the game, shuffle this really... Okay, so this is going to stay at the location underneath until this one goes away. But now we have to go to the book and 385, and we'll see.
Was it 385 or 383?
It was 385.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's gray. Yeah.
Okay.
385. Okay. Now, quick worth mentioning, there used to be an app for this game, but they have since removed it.
Why?
I don't know.
Aww.
Send a letter to the developers of this game and ask why.
That's so weird.
385. Something bright glistened in the moonlight at the bottom of the shabby wall. There's a plywood board on the floor. An outline on the wall tells us the board was hung there for a very long time. Someone has carved a bunch of messages in it. In this damp and drop place, paper wouldn't last even a few days. Day 2, phones have stopped working. Where are you? The bombings have ceased, so I'm going to look for you at our parents' place. If you find this message, wait here. Day 7, it's getting harder to move around town. Today I saw a sniper kill a couple who were crossing the street. Still looking for you. Checked with family and friends. Where are you? Milla. Day 11. I had to get out of here. There's too many thugs there now. I have a new hideout in the old brewery with a group of other refugees. I'll keep checking here, though. Leave a message. Day 32. I guess this is it. I can't risk this every day to keep coming back here. I'm hungry and wounded and exhausted. Forgive me, Milla. If you find this message, please just keep on surviving. There's a more recent edition under that. It's been painted onto the board. Petar, I returned from eligible and found the message. I checked the brewery, but it was already empty. The supplies and the army in the illegible. There's a lot of illegible text in the district. Look for me in illegible. I left you something inside. We spent a moment staring at the board and then carefully hung it back onto the wall. We begin looking for what the writer of the message promised. Persistence pays off in the end. Under a pile of rubble, we find some food and medicine. So we have two choices. We take them. Whoever these people were, we need to look after ourselves first and foremost. Add 1 canned food and 1 herbal medicine to the findings pile and go back to the game. Or we leave it. Maybe Petar or Mia will show up yet. And then we read 1697. So I'm fine with just taking stuff. What? What would you do?
I would just read.
You want to keep going with the story?
Yeah,
huh?
but it's you're the one that's hosting, so.
Well, I don't know what this. I'm not gonna. This is dire. I'm gonna take the food. We don't have any food, right? So 1 canned food and 1 herbal medicine. So we get 1 canned food and 1 herbal medicine, and then go back to the game.
Damn, we are mean.
I'm mean. You would have done something else. 1 herbal medicine.
That's so sad. Stealing people's food.
Hey, you know.
This is war.
It is. War never changes. Okay, so we resolved that card, and as it says, it goes under this location, but whenever the location goes away, this gets shuffled back into the exploration deck.
The left part?
Yeah, the findings, I'm sorry. Yeah, the findings deck. And then search the heap. What else does it say? 1 card. That's it. Okay, we keep going. Bars. Are there bars? No. So now we have to draw a new card from the exploration deck. Hideout. You may ignore this card or hide out. Return as many exploration cards as you wish and lower the noise by the same amount. I don't think we need to. We've got 4 cards left.
Yeah.
So I mean we can get rid of 1, I suppose.
No, it's fine.
You're gonna keep going.
Yeah.
Okay. Hiding place. You may ignore this card or return 2 exploration cards to save this card and use it any time during the scavenging phase. Hiding place. After rolling for noise, you may discard this card to ignore an encounter or perform a backstab in combat. So we can remove 2 of these cards to keep this just for this encounter. But there's only 3 cards left, so I'm not going to bother with that. Yeah. But we could keep that for, like, insurance. Someone's here. Raise the noise by 3. 1, 2, 3. This is looking great, guys. I'm just saying. Yeah. We could end exploration as well. It says or end exploration. So instead of raising the noise by 3, we could have just left. But we'll keep going. Search the heap. There we go. Return 2 exploration cards, which we can't. Or raise noise by 1 and then roll for noise.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. All right.
So we need
a 7 or up.
Okay.
You got this. A 9.
That's a 9?
Yeah, the line under it is a 9. Okay. We are good. Ooh. So we did not attract any attention. So now we draw and resolve 1 card from the findings deck. Cool. And we need to look at the heap chart. So this will tell us pantry, furniture, or heap. It told us to look at the heap. So mechanical part, shell, and weapon part. So we need mechanical part, which may be in the box. So mechanical part, a shell. I need to organize these tokens better. I'm guessing a shell would be red, right?
You want me to alphabetize them?
You don't need to alphabetize them. I just don't know what they look like yet. I've never played this game before to know what they look like. There's a book. I mean, a shell would be, you think, red. So I'm just going to pull out some red ones here and go through them. Weapon part. Is that one of them? Yeah, one weapon part.
Okay. And just
a shell. There's a shell.
Okay.
There we go. And then we'll put these all back into the red pile. All right, well, there you go. And now we also get to roll the black die for special findings and see the current location card for the result. So go ahead and roll this die. And on a 1 to 4, we get nothing. But on a 5 or above, we get something. It's a 3, so nothing special.
Sadness.
That's okay. So this findings card, shuffle this card back into the findings deck. So I'll just put that... Here we go. Easy peasy. We've got one exploration card left. Let's just take a look at it. A basement entrance. There is a basement entrance.
Cool.
Check the current location. If there is a basement entrance, you may resolve this card immediately or place it on the exploration slot and resolve it later instead of drawing a new exploration card. So this allows us to enter the basement, raise the noise by 3, and roll for noise. And then after entering, we can add 5 cards from the exploration deck to the unknown and keep going. Also, you may discard this card during the scavenging to draw and resolve 2 finding cards instead of 1.
Discard.
Yeah, well, it says here, I can resolve it immediately or place it on the exploration card. So we can leave it here, and if we come back in the future, we can enter the basement. We can resolve this card if we so choose to. But if we do this now, we raise noise by 3 up to 8, and then we have to roll for noise. So I don't think we're equipped to do that.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we've already got a lot of things already. So
I see.
I'm fine with just storing this here for later. Okay? But now we're out of exploration cards. So these now go back into, they get shuffled back into the exploration deck. And I will get it, no worries.
Okay.
It's a quick shuffle. You shuffle for years. I just do a quick one. Okay. So now we get to choose our findings. Once you finish exploration, shuffle all exploration and residence cards back into their respective decks. You may add as many resources, wood components, and water to the findings pile as you wish. So let's take a look and see what we got. I'm going to put them down here for ease of looking. And I know it's hard for you folks to see it because the camera is kind of not focused on this. Some of these items do not have a weight on them. So we're just going to bring them back automatically. No biggie. That one doesn't. This one doesn't. These weigh 3. Okay. So we're going to bring 3 back. Plus, our inventory cap is 9. So we can take a combination of 6 water, wood, and components. I say 1 more water for the next day at least.
For sure.
And maybe some wood and components. Actually, I think we need more components than wood at the moment. We're almost out of components.
Yeah.
We have a times.
Definitely components.
All right, so maybe we'll do. We needed 6, right? So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 1 more. So maybe, how's that? 5 components, 1 water. So this is all light stuff. We carry it automatically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yep.
And that's our inventory cap for these 2 people.
Yep.
So we're going to bring all of that back with us to the shelter.
Where's our misery tracker?
Misery is its own token. So as we gain misery, we'll be adding this status effect here.
Didn't we have a misery?
No.
Because of something?
No. You can gain misery if you don't have coffee or whenever. It hasn't happened yet.
I thought it did. All right.
Well, what happened?
I don't remember.
Nothing happened. I guarantee it.
Okay, fine.
All right. 99% sure there has been no misery at this point.
Okay.
So these come back into our base.
Okay.
This is a times 5. I'm just going to do that, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, you know what? Let's keep it here. It's just easier to track. And water. Yep. So now we've got 3 water for the next day, and the medicines. That's good. Okay. Choose findings, and then the night raid. This is the night raid phase of the game. Choose weapons for the guards. So in my variant, we're going to roll the die to see if anything does happen, but in the core game, you always draw a night raid card. So go ahead and roll that die for me. And on a 8, let's see, what did I have here? Nope, night raid. 5 to 10 is a night raid.
Ooh.
So we're going to draw. We don't have any weapons, unfortunately.
A shovel. We used a shovel.
Shovel is a tool in this game, no weapon.
It's not a weapon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have to draw a night raid card and resolve it. We've got hobos. Damage 3. Any 3 tokens or resources, starting with the most expensive. Were we supposed to add those resources already? I think we did. Choose findings. Characters with their findings will make their way back. Oh, so we should not have added those yet.
Why?
Because they technically are still en route to the base. So these 5 components. I mean, we'll re-add them later. So this night raid kind of happens directly during this. So we're kind of resolving things simultaneously, kind of, sort of. It was a canned food, I remember.
Herbal,
the shell, weapon part. But everything else, I think, that would be 6, right? Yeah, so it was something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's one more thing. Maybe it was a mechanical part. Yeah, all right. So they are en route back to the base at this point, and Katya was sort of guarding that. Anyway, so let's see. Night raid. We drew the card, and hobos are going to do 3 tokens resources, starting with the most expensive. Wounds 0. Afterwards, remove this card from the game. However, I get to roll a die for Katya to see if I can, combat any of that.
Because she has an ability?
Well, anyone can. She's unarmed, but she can still roll a die to negate some of that damage.
Okay.
So, let's see here. So, we're essentially doing a combat right now. Roll a combat die corresponding to the weapon used. In this case, we're using a gray die because we are unarmed. Okay. So go ahead and roll that one and see what we get. A fish hook thing. I don't think anything happens in that case. The number of icons shown on the roll die indicates the amount that you subtract from suffered damage. Using weapons during the night raid. Okay, so nothing there. Oh, prowess value determines number of rerolls. Katya has no prowess, so we don't reroll that die, unfortunately. Every board up that we have, which we don't have any right now, we can build board ups on... I don't remember how to do it. I'll have to look at the book again. But you can use resources to construct board ups.
Probably with wood. And
that will help with cold, and will also help with defense like this. For every board up you have, it subtracts by 1 the amount of damage or whatnot. So now we have to resolve 3 resources, if I remember correctly. So it says...
These are our resources?
Yes. Any 3 tokens starting with the most expensive. So what, we lose the meds?
Yeah, I guess.
That's... Well, it says any 3 tokens. Resources starting with the most expensive.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to understand.
Now, is this considered a token?
Any tokens, yeah. So they're going to take 3 tokens starting with the most expensive.
Meds, shovel, and lockpick.
All right. This is the part that has always confused me. At least when I've been doing research for this game. Damage. The amount of stolen tokens resources that must be discarded from storage. The weapons used by the guards remain safe. So we lose our 3 most expensive things. which is that,
The shovel.
that, and that.
Yep.
That is awful. Are you kidding me right now? We lost all 3 of these things?
I guess.
That can't be right. I'm sorry.
I know, it stinks.
Any 3 tokens resources, starting with the most expensive.
Yep.
That's... So yeah, the value is the yellow number on here.
Mm-hmm.
So that means we're going to have to like reconstruct the shovel at the very least. Shovel is luckily 3 components and 1 wood. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to discard these. That sucks. Thank you so much, hobos. We got mauled by hobos.
Oh, Katya.
Oh, Katya.
You're excommunicated.
Yeah, her she's not doing great, guys. Not great.
She needs Who has prowess in our...
Amelia has 1 and Boris has 2, but his inventory is 6. So it's like...
Amelia probably should have done the
maybe.
one then.
Even still, yeah, we have discarded... even if she had gotten a success on the roll, it's still 1 or 2 items would have been discarded. Mm-hmm. So, anywho, I think that's it. Crime Wave. Shuffle 2 cards in any combination into their corresponding decks. I'm going to, again, this is a house roll. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do 1 resident card into the resident stack because...
It's a tough game.
Well, not only that, but night raids you'll get a lot of. Residents... we didn't get any last round, so as long as we can not draw attention, we're fine.
Yep.
So now we come back. Dawn phase. Scavenging party returns. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna... Now they come back, and now we assign all of those out.
Okay.
Assign medicines and bandages.
She didn't get damaged, did she?
No.
We just got ourselves...
Yeah, it said 0 wounds on here, so she did... It's just the hobos came, overpowered her, and just took a bunch of stuff. Is what it came out to be.
Okay.
That was the night raid card. And what else here? Draw fate. So now we draw a fate card. So is there a fate card up there?
Yes. Here you go, sir.
All right. Fate card. Okay, so now we're going to resolve these in order. Raise the illness of all ill characters who do not take any medicine by 1. Well, we don't have any sick characters. Heal the wounds of all characters who had bandages by 1. Well, we don't have any person that's hurt. Mm-hmm. Discard bandage tokens from all characters. Again, no one was assigned any bandages. If cold tokens minus board ups is equal to 5 or more, which we don't have any cold tokens, then raise illness of all characters by 1. Exchange the nearest medium location. Nearest medium. This is small, medium, small. Exchange the nearest medium location. So we just draw a new one from this deck here. Okay. And the supermarket is gone. Okay, and it's an abandoned house. Resolve weight tokens, which we have none of. Resolve Spirit A on all character cards. So, and then shuffle this card back into the Fate deck. Okay. So, we have to resolve Spirit A. If Boris is fatigued, level 2 or 3, it's only level 1, so he's fine. Raise his misery by 1. Nothing bad there.
Okay.
A for her, habit. Discard 1 coffee from the storage. Or raise Amelia's misery by 1. We have no coffee.
Nope.
So she gets a misery token.
Nasty.
Alright, so she's got misery 1. Mm-hmm. Katya, discard 1 coffee, which we don't have any, and she also gains a misery.
Ooh, nasty.
So, yeah. So far, is that it? Oh, narrative cards. Draw 2 of the narrative cards.
The narrative actions?
Yes.
Okay.
And we're going to choose one of them to keep.
Okay.
All right. So the first one is resourceful. Play when crafting any fitting. Ignore the requirement for 1 of the resource token types. So make something cheaper to build, which is good. Mm-hmm. Headshot. Play during any combat or during your backstab. If you are using a firearm, discard 1 ammo to automatically kill 1 enemy. Or play during the night raid phase. If the character on guard has a firearm, discard 1 ammo to automatically ignore 1 night raid card. We don't have a gun yet, so I'm thinking resourceful so
Yeah.
that we can build something for round 2.
Yes.
So let's keep that nearby so that we have it. And this goes back into the narrative deck.
Shuffled.
Shuffled. It's shuffled.
Okay. Very good.
All right.
Good job.
And that is, I believe. Yeah. Okay. Well, here's some other extra notes. At the end of the dawn phase, check if any character died or abandoned the group today. If the answer is yes, roll the black die and compare the results of each character's empathy. On a result equal to or less than their empathy, raise their misery by 2.
Ooh.
So, yeah, that is the end of day 1.
My God.
So, that's just one day.
Okay.
So, in conclusion, on our first day, we got some stuff done. We brought some stuff back, but hobos charged in, got past Katia, and stole a bunch of high valuable stuff.
Makes for a good
That's
story.
that's where we stand right now. Oh, and we took supplies from a young couple who, you know.
We stole.
We didn't steal anything. We don't know.
It was karma.
Oh, was it? Is that what
Yeah.
that was?
Yeah, we stole their food and we got a ton of stuff taken away from ours.
So, this is day 1. What did you think so far? Did you enjoy this?
It's okay. I think I enjoyed XCOM more.
XCOM?
There's something missing about this. I think this is definitely for solo players because the more players, like you said in the beginning, there are, the longer it's going to take to make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
I think what they should have done really was for 2 players, control 2 characters, each.
Mm-hmm.
And
how is it any different, though, than just agreeing on a choice of action for those characters?
well, because I don't know. Well, it's like the Ghostbusters co-op. Why even have characters?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I feel like each character should have like an actual active ability.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like they could have done some things a little bit more user friendly.
What we could have done was bring light stuff with us during the findings pile. That way, during the night raid, they couldn't get to it.
Oh.
I just realized I could have
right.
attached medicine to those guys to prevent them from getting it. Anything high value, just bring with us.
Yeah.
Something that's
the herbal meds we'll have to remember to bring.
Yeah, we're gonna anything that's light, we're just gonna bring with us, I guess. So, yeah.
Is that's such a cheesy move. Like, I wonder if that's even allowed.
I'd have to look, to be honest with you. But yeah, that was just the first round. Mm-hmm. We have, looks like 3 more event cards, 3 more rounds to get through before we resolve this objective. And then more events, and then resolve the next objective, and then finally endgame.
Did you enjoy it?
I did.
Okay.
I still think it's RNG pretty heavy. I mean, this die used a lot.
Scavenging wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. I
What,
thought
you
we were
mean-
going to find more things.
Well, we got unlucky, to be honest with you. We could have gotten a lot more.
Could we? I
Yeah.
don't know. I never.
This exploration deck has more than what we saw. I mean, we only drew 14 of these cards.
Yeah.
And there's other things in here. We saw a pantry, like the fittings, for example, or the findings. There's pantry, furniture, and heap. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you're going to look through the pantry, draw a pantry card, or draw a findings card, then look at the pantry section, furniture or heap. Mm-hmm. So there are other cards in here that allow you to get food or whatnot.
Yeah.
Speaking of food, we're kind of in trouble.
Yep.
Well, all right, so there you go, folks. That's going to be, I think, it for this video. It's been an hour and 15 minutes.
Wow.
If you guys are interested in seeing more, maybe we'll continue this playthrough in a separate video or series, but again, it has to be worth my while to do that, to do the camera. Otherwise, I'll just resolve this on our own. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that was this War of Mine.
Very heavy.
Yeah.
Is this a Euro game?
Well, it might as well be. Yeah, this War of Mine, if you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vincent Idley. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you all next time.
Bye, guys.